Hi everyone. Hope everyone can see me okay. Hope you had a great couple of days and a good bank holiday as well. I've had a good bank holiday personally. I got accepted into the YouTube partner program this morning, so my channel is now monetized. Believe it or not, I can't actually believe it. That actually got monetized. I didn't really start it for that. I really started it for a fitness channel that has really morphed into something so much more and providing advice to those people who are joining the army. And some of the comments I've got back from you guys, my followers, have been absolutely brilliant. And I'm really happy that I've helped. And a lot of people that have been following my channel, following the advice for fitness, following everything really, has a lot of people have joined the army from it. So that's quite humbling for me at the same time. And thank you certainly to T. Hannah, Lee, DJ. You've been brilliant subscribers and really part of the community to take my channel where it is. DJ's got AOSB in 6 days. That 3 months must have absolutely flown by from the date that you were given your AOSB when you thought you had loads and loads of time to prepare for. Now it's actually upon you, and I do wish you all the best for AOSB. I hope it's going to be really successful for you, and make sure you let me know how you got on, how it was like, what you felt before you were going, midway through, and really good luck for that. After, how much did you enjoy last Saturday's game? Which one? I hope you're not. Which one's that, Lee? Last Saturday's game. Oh no, Champions League, Chelsea, Man City. I bet it's that one. Must be that one you're on about. It was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely, I love football. Great game. I think Chelsea were absolutely superb. Man City couldn't get into it. De Bruyne didn't have a great game. Turns out he's broken his eye socket and his nose. You're not Chelsea. I'm a Cardiff City fan. I am a Cardiff City fan, but I do like to follow. I follow all the Premier League teams and Championship teams, and I also follow Salford, which is Gary Neville's team as well. And he's probably like the best pundit on football by a mile, to be honest. Franco, what are the most common injuries during basic you saw or no experience, and how can I prevent that? So, the most common injuries in basic training is probably going to be ankle injuries. So, do your boots up correctly. You do not have your boots too tight because they'll then stop blood flow into your feet, and also at the same time having things too tight doesn't give maximum support. So I would say ankle injuries in basic training. I got just a very minor ankle injury because my body just wasn't used to tabbing, and I knew absolutely nothing about the army whatsoever before I went to basic training, and I got a little ankle injury, but it wasn't that bad. It didn't keep me from doing anything whatsoever. So I would say ankle injuries. So make sure your boots are done up correctly. If you want me to do a video on how to have your boots for tabbing, I'll most certainly do something like that. Sometimes one of my mates got a really bad back rub from his Bergen. He got like quite bad sores actually. Probably he might have had like bad skin already, but generally it was he had quite bad sores on his back from where his Bergen was rubbing his back. So that is why I always wear an Under Armour, really tight Under Armour vest underneath the t-shirt when I'm tabbing, because it acts as that layer and stops any blisters from forming whatsoever. I know you discussed AOSB many times, but any last minute tips? Yeah, so what they're looking for, that you will be monitored. So this is for DJ now. You will be monitored from the very second you actually go through the gates for AOSB. So just be confident. Try and be as articulate as possible, but show enthusiasm. And if you're told to do one thing and you're told to do something by someone, then you're told to do something by someone else. Just follow the closest crocodile to the boat. Just do whatever you're told at whatever time that you're told to do it, and you really can't go far wrong. And make sure you work as a team whilst also taking the initiative to be an individual leader as well, because that's what they're looking for, to have confidence. And if things are going badly, don't worry about it. Just have confidence. And also, if things are going badly for you at that particular time, just try not to show it. Try not to show it, and try and get to the summit of that problem, essentially, Deej. No, for hello, Sam. Can you tell me about the commandos in the Royal Artillery? Okay, so the commandos, you can do the commandos, the Army Commando course, this is called, from any cap badge within the British Army. So you'll go and do it, and you might end up at an Army Commando unit, perhaps, but generally you might then just go back into your mainstream unit that you were. So I've got loads of people that have done the Army Commandos course, and now they're just back into the Royal Signals. So it's totally different from the Royal Marines, just to let you know, because the Royal Marines are naval, and that's where the confusion can lie sometimes. Deej, what proportion of people get shin splints during training? I think if you've prepared for your course that you're doing, if you're well prepared for it and you don't get them already, you're not going to get shin splints in basic training. If you do lots of running already, lots of tabbing already, chances are you're not going to get shin splints in basic training. If you have a problem with shin splints, I would definitely take a week or two off before you go to basic training to fully recover, and make sure you really, really foam roll out your muscles and your calves, and especially across your shin bone with all the tendons and ligaments. They just need loosening off. That's all that they need. I used to get really bad problems with my ITB, which is the band that runs down the side of your knee. And I used to get problems with that until I started foam rolling it. And I foam rolled it for 1 or 2 days, really. And I've never, ever had a problem with it ever again. So not many people get shin splints in basic training if they haven't had shin splints before. What happens during basic if you get a serious injury? There's a couple of things. So in basic training, if you get a serious injury, you'll just get back course. So you might go into sort of like the med center, and then you'll go into a section which is filled with people with minor injuries. You'll just do a lot of theory there. Then you probably get back course back onto normal basic training when your injury has healed. Turbos, 2 weeks till assessment center. What should I be focusing on, ignoring leading up to it in terms of running? Right. With regards to the assessment center, you're either going to have, they haven't made a decision whether it's going to be the bleep test still or the 2 kilometer run. I would plan for the bleep test, and I would be concentrating on hill sprints, sprints, doing some lampposts, and just doing the odd long distance run. That really, the days of the long endurance runs are pretty much gone now within the military. They're slowly moving away from that for more focused, short, sharp, high intensity running. So that's what I'd work for and work towards, and that'll put you in really good stead for the beep test. Have I done P Company or Commando course? I was booked on for the short answer is no. I became a PTI instead, because what happened was I was booked onto my P Company course when I was at my very first regiment, and then Iraq kicked off, and we were literally given 2 weeks to get out the door to go to Iraq. So I ended up in Iraq, and then when I came back, I got posted to another unit, and from there I just wanted to do my PTI's qualification, to be perfectly honest with you, because I wanted to be a PTI for a couple of years. a couple of different regiments. So I didn't do P Company, I didn't do the Commando course, but I have lots of friends who've done P Company and the Commando course. So really, if you've got the fitness, you will pass P Company and the Commando course, and you'll know it in yourself. And if you're teetering on the edge of whether you should go and do it or not, go and do it. Even if you fail, who cares? If I could have gone onto P Company and failed it, but I've given it a go, and you can have a few attempts. You can have 3 attempts, I think. So don't worry about that. Don't let whatever happens, this is to everyone watching now, never ever let failure stand in the way of you trying to push yourself and make yourself a better individual. Franco, been training with a day sack, yeah, got sweaty and sores, but I use face cream. Yeah, exactly that, mate. You just use some really solid cream, Sudocrem, things like that, and you will get it to begin with. You might get a couple of sores to begin with, but really don't worry about that. Just either wear another outer skin or put cream on first and then put outer skin. You can get a really good one. So I sometimes get really sweaty between my thighs. I know it's gross, I'm sorry about that, but I get sweaty, and you can get a cream called Runner's Glide, which is absolutely amazing. So I just stick that on in my thighs. I wear long lycra like boxer shorts to run in, and I'm absolutely fine like that. You can go on for ages. I wore them. I've done what's called Trail Walker, which is a 100-kilometer race. I've done that twice, and I've worn the Runner's Glide cream, some lycra shorts underneath, and I've been absolutely fine. The only issue you get with running 100k is blisters, which are pretty brutal towards the end as well. T Hunter picked up a little niggle in your knee, had a full week off, so hopefully all good. That's what happens when you train an extra day. It really, God, man, rest days are just as important as training days, aren't they, man? It's unbelievable. But yeah, whatever happens, rest, recuperate, take on plenty of water when you've got an injury. But I think the most important is when you have an injury is to restrict your diet even further if you're not training. So just focus on really clean foods and try and cut out sugar when you're in the recovery phase if you're injured. Surav Rai, hey Sam, is this still the bleep test? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still the bleep test at this moment in time. I'm guessing, Surav, that you might be Nepalese, or you might have a family over here who are Nepalese, and you're joining the army from here. I work with Nepalese. I'm in the signals, and they generally don't have any dramas with any fitness tests whatsoever. So you'll be fine. But I think it's still the bleep test, mate. DJ, can you talk about what is expected of an officer after commission? I think an officer after commission is someone who needs to not so much take charge. If you're a brand new officer, you've just come to a new regiment, it's not so much take charge, but it's to be someone that the other junior ranks, the young privates and lance corporals, can really look up to. So you carry yourself with an air of confidence, but not an air of arrogance. And you carry yourself with a knowledge. You're approachable is certainly a big part of what's expected of an officer a lot of the time. Someone with a bit of compassion, to be honest with you, and empathy. When you first start off, and as you then get more experience, then you really will start taking charge of situations and putting your, I suppose, your own signature on whatever unit that you're in charge of towards the end of your posting. So that's pretty much what's expected of an officer to begin with, and also to have a very wide knowledge base of how the army works as well. You'll get taught all of that in Sandhurst. Can you bring a foam roller to Sandhurst basic training? Yeah, of course you can. You take a foam roller, 100%, 100%. Patel, what do I think of DOV? I'm guessing that's the Duke of Edinburgh. Hopefully, that's the Duke of Edinburgh. Is that the Duke of Edinburgh Award? I'm guessing, Patel. I think that's a great thing to do, and you can learn so many skills of it as well. Especially you do bronze, silver, and all the way up to gold. I think it's very worthwhile to do. Quick clap. Oh no. Oh man, I'm getting loads of questions. Brother, I want to join the military of Judea, and there are some very brief military exercises I can practice in prep for the actual. Are there some very brief military exercises I can practice? Oh man, you'd have to go through. I'd imagine you'd have to go through Google for that. I'd have to look up actually the military of Judea. I'll have a look. I'll look that up. Send me a message on one of my videos so I remember, and I'll have a look at it. But I'm not sure what exercises you mean. Do you mean sort of like maths exercises, or do you mean like the cognitive exercises? Because there's lots of them online for certainly. Quick clap. David Pye. What exercises are best to do, and how often should I do them while I wait for phase 1 training? 6 weeks to go to phase 1 training, eh, Dave? That's not bad at all, is it? Phase 1 training, I would be doing, I would certainly be working on some upper body and lower body, doing some high intensity, because what you'll find is it's kind of strange, really, because what you'll find is some people go to basic training and they're not really at a good level of fitness, and they worry then about the fitness when you go and do phys. But of course, if you can be as fit as possible before you get there, where I'm generally quite a fit person anyway. I'm very lucky like that. But some people just aren't, but they're very intelligent, so they don't worry about other things. But if you can get there as fit as possible, by doing like high intensity interval training, you'll be doing lots of circuits, lots of running. I think that would be your best bet. Do some HIIT, do some upper body, lower body, just have a really good all-round fitness, and get doing pull-ups as well for certain. Do some pull-ups, body weight, being able to carry your body weight, pull-ups, dips, things like that will really help. For Sanders, you have to pass a 2.2k run or something. What distance should you be able to run before you get to Sanders, or should I just focus on being able to run the 2.2k? What I would do for that is work to your strengths, DJ, to be completely honest with you. I'd certainly be able to run 2.2 quite quickly, but you will have much longer cross-country races. So I'd also every now and again just bang in just a 5 or 6 miler just to get your legs used to carrying your body for that distance. So you haven't got long to AOSB. Hopefully you'll be successful in that. And if you are unsuccessful on AOSB, do not let that deter you from joining the military. And I'm fairly certain you wouldn't anyway, from speaking to you on this forum and the messages that you sent to me and the kind of chats that we've had. Do not let that deter you. Whatever happens, just whatever they tell you to work on, go again, and you'll probably end up a much better officer as well. But get some long runs in and focus on your 2K as well. How many months does VM and the REMI take in phase 2? Oh my god. I think VM probably it could well take around a 6-monther. So this is what you are going to do, Irene, is send me a message on one of my videos after this live stream, and I'll be able to look on the system. I'll nip into work tomorrow, even though it's a Saturday, because I'm a nice guy. I'll nip into work tomorrow and I will find exactly how long it takes. So make sure that you stick a comment on one of my videos, and I'll be able to find out the exact amount of time. Do you still get the same cap badge? Yeah, after doing the Army Commandos course, yeah, generally it's just you'll wear a green beret with your cap badge. That's what'll happen. Global news, what's life in the RLC like as a driver? Great, mate. Everything's changing now with the military. So it used to be, if you join the RLC, promotion might be slower, but that's just not the case anymore. You can join any cap badge, and as long as you shine, you'll be absolutely fine. I've worked with the RLC loads as well. And as drivers, look, the thing is with drivers, you do a lot of driving and it's long hours. But the army have brought new policies in, so you can only drive for a certain amount of time now before you have to have enforced rest. It's like in Civvy Street, gone are the days where you're driving for like 18 hours straight doing this and that on exercise. You're not allowed to do that anymore. Everything's monitored. You have a tachometer, like with Civilian Street as well. So to be honest, not a bad deal, mate. Not a bad deal at all. Alpha, yep. I think the assessment centre is still a bleep test. I haven't heard anything other than that. Tikhana, bit concerned about passing med 23 and I have no health issues, but went to doctors a few times in my teen years, told I had dermatitis, and also went over a year back for blepharitis, which is now cleared. If everything's cleared, like you can go on the Army website, and I don't know if dermatitis. Have you been on the Army website? You can check all the medical conditions that could stop you from joining the Army. Dermatitis, blepharitis, I'm not sure what that is. However, if you've got nothing wrong with you at the time, you'll be absolutely fine. You'll just tell the doctor that that's all cleared up now. They're not going to stop you from having something that won't stop you from going on tour in years to come. So you should be fine with that. Based on what I said, what's a junior officer in charge of then? If she's primary role that they'll be given is to bond with the new platoon and stuff. So the new officer will be in charge of a troop or a platoon generally, okay? And they're in charge of it, so they'll be doing report writing. It's going to go through what some of my troopies have done now. So a lot of the time, they will be the figurehead for that troop of 30 or 40 blokes. So if anything's going to happen with your troop, is either going to be a colour sergeant or your troop commander, and it'll come down from them. So your coloured sergeant will essentially mould that troop commander until that troop commander starts getting his feet under the table and can bring his own ideas in. He'll also write the reports, more than likely, of a majority of the soldiers at a certain rank. It'll take a year or two to really bed in as an officer, but within a year or two, you get automatic promotion anyway. And then from there, you'll go up to your captain, major, lieutenant colonel. And that's where you'll really start making changes and get some really good jobs as well. DJ got he's got Flavison 8 years ago, but all you have to do is explain the problem. Yeah, that's the big thing. As long as you can go in there and confidently articulate what has happened in the past and just say, look, I've had absolutely no dramas with it whatsoever. I've been doing all this phase. It's the summer now. I've been doing phase. I've been sweating. I've had no dramas with it whatsoever. Fingers crossed you'll be fine. Okay, so Lee, Isotonic sports drink, do they work or just a waste of money? So, Isotonic sports drinks. The thing with Isotonic sports drinks, they're essentially sugar and vitamins, which you can do yourself. God, it's on a really weird color my camera has. They're essentially, you can do exactly the same with 1 part orange juice, 2 parts water, and a pinch of salt after you've done your fizz. If you can do that, that's exactly the same as an isotonic drink. You've got the sugar, the organic sugar from the orange juice, you've got water to rehydrate you, and you've got salt to replace your sweat. So if you take multivitamin, 1 part orange juice, 2 parts water, pinch of salt, that is an isotonic drink. So that's probably what I do rather than doing the Lucasade Sports. But saying that Lucozade Sport or the gels can be quite good to give you energy. They are decent, but essentially they're just high level sugars for your body to keep you going. Okay. Dave, thanks, Sam. Can't wait to go now. I'm doing Insanity DVDs. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Needed 6.6 on the speed test. Got 8.7. Will they be okay to just carry on doing them, or should I be doing those? Now, Santi, mate, you'll be in great shape if you do no Sanity. You'll be absolutely fine. Perhaps get out for some tabbing as well. LP394, I've been passed on to the assessment. Does that mean they have my medical records and don't have an issue? Passed on to your assessment, yes, you'll go to the assessment center and they've given your medical records, and then you'll go for your medical, and they'll take it from there then once you have your actual medical as well. Jasmine, no matter what I've tried, I've only ever been able to do 3 pull-ups in a row. Better than none, I guess. Much better. My God, there's people that can't do 1 pull-up that are in the military. So 3 pull-ups is absolutely fine. I've got a pull-up video on my channel as well, which will help you get better at pull-ups if you follow it. There's someone following it at the minute, and they put a comment in the other day saying that it's really helped them. So fingers crossed, it can help you help you as well. So just look across my channel, look for the pull-ups video, and that'll take you through a step-by-step guide on how to do pull-ups, where to start if you can't do any. They're going all the way up to 10 in a row. And DJ got flagged for anger issues, not to provide a bunch of evidence to show I'm no longer that person, and then passed, but took 2 weeks. Yeah, but 2 weeks, what's 2 weeks, mate? At least you passed. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Stay focused. Sound should all be good. To the mental side of things, yeah, it does. Global news. Have I ever seen many people from Northern Ireland in the RLC as a driver? I haven't met anyone from Northern Ireland as the RLC as a driver, but a couple of my mates are from Northern Ireland. They're in the Royal Signals, and we used to have a trade, which was a driver lineman, they called them. So you do like a form of one part of the communications and do the driving, get all the driving quals as well. So I don't know any Northern Irishmen in the RLC, but essentially Northern Ireland is the United Kingdom anyway, so you won't have any dramas getting in. Louis C, do you have any idea how hard the basic maths test is? If you're not going officer, it will not be that hard whatsoever. If you're going officer, there might be a little bit more testing, but if you're not, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It won't be that hard. It doesn't matter if you failed your GCSE to get into the regular soldiers within the military. Right. So T. Henner went on to the JSP document, which is a joint service publication, if no one knew what that was, and that's published by the military. How can I prepare for the interview during assessment concerning the regiment you want to join? Okay, so I've done a video on that as well, Noel, and at the minute the interviews are very, very brief. It's just a couple of things essentially, like why do you want to join the army, are your parents okay with you joining the army, so on and so forth. Very generalistic. They might ask you, why do you want to join the signals engineers, REME, why do you want to join 2 Lancs or anything like that. Just have a little bit of background check that you will be able to find if you Google it. Go on the Army website, because that will have a bit of history against all the cap badges within the Army. So you'll be fine with that. So just have a little background why you want to join. If it was, say, the REME, you're quite into mechanics. That's how you like to work with your hands. The Royal Signals, you might say, I'm into communications. Engineers, RLC, you could do some great jobs in the RLC as well. So just have a look back over its history. Just have just a quick 30 or 40 second spiel that you could say to really sell yourself. So, hey, I have my run in 2 weeks. That's it. Sunset 23. Have my run in 2 weeks. Any advice? Don't fail it. I'm just joking. Any advice? Yeah, just keep active. Don't overtrain for the run. If you feel like you're in a really good place at this moment in time, don't try and push yourself too hard for these last 2 weeks. This is where now you do not want any injuries. So you just keep to where you are at this moment in time. If, however, you're not where you want to be at this moment in time, you want to think about training twice a day. So you're going to want to overextend yourself, but leave 2 days at the very end where you don't do anything, and have a break every 3rd day or 4th day. So train for 3 days, have a day off. So just a light jog in the morning, then a HIIT session or a HIIT session in the morning and a sprint session. But out of those 2 days, you keep one exercise that you do quite light and one intense, and vice versa, all through those 2 weeks before you want to go. I think I've been too much into it, going to too many forums, waiting for over a month for GP to get paid. Yeah, it's one of those things, mate. It's so difficult when you really want something. That's all you do. All you want to do is find answers. Sometimes you just can't find those answers, and those answers just takes time. And what you'll find in the army as well, it's a lot of the time it's a case of hurry up and wait. So you're told to be somewhere, and then you just have to wait. So you will learn a lot of patience in the military, and this just waiting game. As long as everything turns out okay, you'll forget about it in a couple of months when you're actually in the military anyway. Yeah, marketing. Yeah, Jasmine, going to Winchester next month, aiming for Royal Engineers, but thinking a bit in the future here. If I want to go officer, will I need to get A levels? Yeah, that's the min. Well, no, really. Say you join the army. You can join the army, be a regular soldier, and then get recommended to then commission. Say you've only been in a couple of years, you'll just have to do the full Sandhurst piece, but you'll have to go through pretty much exactly the same selection process as what you would before you went. So if I was you and you don't have A levels and you want to go commissioning through the regular soldier route, I would start doing them, join the army, join the engineers, get your foot in the door, wait a year or two, and then use your enhanced learning credits or standard learning credits to then get your A levels, a diploma, or even a degree, which will then help you in the future to commission from the ranks, or you'll just step up the ranks and then go to Sandhurst that way and do the full year. DJ's trying to read 16 pull-ups on 13, mate. That's awesome. That is really good. Gab, hi Sam, how's it going? Hi Gab, how are you? I was talking about you earlier. I don't know if you saw it. I was saying you're getting pretty decent now at those pull-ups. It's nice to see that everyone's talking to each other and giving advice as well. I know I don't monitor it a lot. But I've got a Discord server that you can all get to. It's on. Just click on my most recent video. No, go into my community tab and scroll down there, and the link is in there for the Discord server. And the guys are in there chatting to each other all of the time and giving advice. And you can ask them questions. There's people that have just been to the assessment center, just go into the assessment center. So if you need any advice from them as well, from people who are doing it at this moment in time, jump onto my Discord server, and that'll really help you out as well. 38. Oh, everything keeps going. I'm just looking now to get through. If I've missed any of you, okay, I have 38 more days to start basic training. Anything to look out for? Injuries, like I said earlier, don't push your hard too much. You're there now. You've passed the fitness test, the raw fitness test entry standard that you needed to get into basic training. So you want to stay away from injuries. You want to keep your diet tight. You want to be getting into a good sleep routine, because when you get to basic training, if you're going to bed really late now, 12, 1, 2 in the morning, and not getting up till 11, 12 at night, you're going to be 11, 12 during the day, you're going to be mega tired for that first week of basic training, because your body's not going to be used to it. So you need to try and get into a good sleep routine of having like 7-8 hours sleep is absolutely plenty for the body. So that's what I'd look to. If you're going to bed at like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning at this moment in time, which I know kids do, you want to start reducing that by an hour every couple of nights to get your body used to it, then start going to bed at reasonable times, 11, 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and then waking up quite early around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. DJ, sorry for the spam. DJ, mate, we're on here for a reason. I mean, that is all to provide advice, ask questions, and interact with everyone. So I love it. Don't you worry about it, mate. For AOSB, should I encourage people struggling during the bleep test? No. I'm gonna say no for that. Focus on you, mate. Okay. If people, you probably won't have the energy to encourage other people on the bleep test. If there's other people doing it and that seems to be the norm, then you could say that. But generally on the bleep test, when you're doing it, you will not have the energy, and people just drop out of nowhere. It's really hard. You can encourage people on a run, like, come on, mate, you can push people on a run. During the bleep test, you just can't do it. It literally, you just stop almost instantly. You'll get 3 warnings while you're there. Take those warnings, keep going. Warning 1, warning 2, warning 3. If they warn you once, then you get to the next one and they warn you again. It doesn't matter. That still counts. That is still a beep. That's still like level, say, 10.3. And then you get a warning on 10.4, get a warning on 10.5. Then you're out on 10.6. You get 10.5, which means you've gone those extra 2 levels. Take the warnings, whatever happens on the beep test if you're struggling. Can you recommend a sports watch out of work? Yeah. Not too much money. Fitbits are really good. A lot of people are, and they're quite good value. Garmin watches are brilliant, and it comes with a good app as well, like Strava. I would go for something like that, but they can be quite expensive, those type of things. But essentially, I think probably Fitbit is going to be your cheapest option for that, Lee. During the lead less tasks at AOSB, in your opinion, how do you step up and lead without dominating the group? You step up and lead if you have an idea. If you have an idea that you think will work and you're fairly confident, let everyone chat, and you could raise your hand and say, look, I think I've got an idea here. Okay. If you think you have half an idea and you're not sure it'll work, you can still put your idea across. However, don't say, this is what we have to do. We have to do this, you do that, and it doesn't work. And somebody else might have already said the right answer. You might look a bit of an idiot. So you'll know when to step up, because there's going to be the lulls in battle. There's going to be those quiet periods where everyone is thinking. So it's at that point then where you can then say, look, has anyone got an idea for this? If you don't have an idea, you could say to the people, if you don't have an idea, it doesn't matter. Let's just start throwing out options that we can perhaps put together, but don't try and be too forceful. If you failed the AOSB, which I'm confident I will, you reckon I should try second time straight away or join Royal Marines and then go Royal Marine officer? Right, so if you fail AOSB, they will give you a time frame to go back, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. They're going to give you a time frame to go back. It's whether you can wait during that time frame. If not, join the Marines if you want to. I think just really try and don't do anything rash. Don't make a decision for at least 2 or 3 days if you get the bad news, which I really do hope you don't. don't do anything rash for at least 2 or 3 days. Let everything sink in. Reflect on it. Perhaps make some notes as well. Write everything down, how you're feeling. Just get yourself into a good mental state before you then go and make a decision on how you want to proceed. Sunset Charles at level 8, so you're doing fine. Jasmine, okay, thanks for that about getting to officer. I've just completed ASS this year, so I've gotten halfway there. Yeah, okay, AS levels, yeah. Hoping to get a degree in the future. And you can get a degree through the army as well, and they'll pay like 90% of that degree. And that's exactly what I did. Noel, just out of curiosity, can you do both P Company and Army Commandos course? Yes, you can. And also, when can you apply for the courses after Phase 2 infantry? Right, so when I was a troop staffer, I used to like guys that knew where they wanted to be. But when you just get to a unit, what I wouldn't do is say, right, I'm going to do P Company, then I'm going to do Commandos. Don't do it straight away. Just get a feel for it. See what fitness everyone else is like at that unit. See whether they've passed P Company or Commandos. Gauge your fitness to them. And if you are a lot fitter, then yeah, by all means, go for it. But I would gauge your fitness first and think, right, this is what I need to do to pass P Company. I need to get a little bit fitter, or this is what I need to do to pass my all-arms commando. I need to get fitter in this area or that area. So that's what I would do first. Just sit back, have a look around, assess the situation, and then you can go forward and start applying for courses. But ultimately, after Phase 2 training, you can start applying for courses. Jasmine didn't take my warnings at assessment, so they were a bit annoyed at me, yeah. But then they weren't too worried because I got 11.4, so yeah. So don't worry about that. But yeah, Jasmine's right. Take your warnings as well. Oh man, they went quick. Okay, you know how you said the army's stopping the longer type runs. I'm surprised as a long distance really helped in the Falklands. That was a big learning. So longer runs will burn fat, but it's difficult to do a long run to accompany the ability level of everyone in that group if you've only got one PTI. So say somebody extremely fit is in the same group, so there's only one PTI there, is in the same group as someone who's really unfit. A long run is really difficult. A steady state run, essentially, they call them. It's really difficult to have any benefit. Long tabs, however, marching with weight on your back or in belt kit with your webbing and a day sack, that's what got the guys through the Falklands. Essentially, it was long marches that they used to do to get them ready for that, and that used to be called the oh my goodness, the AFT, Army Fitness Test, which was the 8-mile tab with the weapon. That's just getting phased out essentially now, but that's what got it through, and it's certainly not long distance running. DJ, appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. I really like doing the 43. I've been on here 3/4 of an hour. It's absolutely flown by. Brooke, I have my assessment center in a month. Not sure if it's a 1-day or 2-day test. You might find it might be a 1-dayer at the minute because everything's virtual. They do a lot of virtual stuff, and then you just go there for bits and bobs. But it'll say on your joining instructions anyway. When you receive, it'll say on your joining instructions. Jayden Sinitra, hi Sam. Can the army help with naturalizing as a British citizen? Oh, can they help? Potentially, but of course you'd have to be over here 5 years for however many years anyway to naturalize. But if you've got the job, that helps. Will they naturalize you themselves, the army? I don't know. I couldn't comment on that. Unfortunately, sorry, mate. But the fact is, you'd have a job, you'd be over here anyway, then you just do the normal application process of naturalizing. DJ struggling with 2 topics I need to bring to the group discussion in case they ask me to suggest an idea to the group. Any ideas? Is that what they've asked you to do? They 2 topics. I would do 1 topic potentially about. I'd read into the new Ajax vehicle that is going to be in the it's like not the rapid reaction core, but the new Ajax vehicle. I would look into that because that's going to be pretty new. So I'd look at something military like that, and I'd also look at the news of that Ryanair flight. I was brought down with a journalist who just gave a speech on TV, clearly under duress, and I would probably look at something like that as well. So it shows that you've looked at one side of the army and also current affairs as well. T. Hunter Yompin, you got it, mate. I don't get these warnings during the bleep test. So basically, Deej, if you don't make it to the, or are you saying that you just don't get it, as in it doesn't make sense, sort of thing, as in it's ridiculous? But essentially, if you don't get to the line, you get a warning, but you can still miss the beep and keep going the other way as well, and they'll still count as the beep. T. Hunter, interested in 36 engineer and 36. One factor has been able to work with the Gurkhas and the sheer diversity. Would these regiments favour Gurkhas when it comes to promotion time? No, it shouldn't do. It depends what you get stuck into, really. As long as you put the effort in, get some secondary duties under your belt, like the video I released yesterday, I think, about things you might not know you have to do in the army. Secondary duties is a big thing. You get some of them under your belt, you'll be fine. They won't favour the Nepalese for that. Oh no. Oh, here we go. I'm not eligible because of my nationality, but my gym mates who are ex-army keep telling me to go to the careers office. Yeah, Jaden, whatever happens, go to the careers office and speak to someone. There's nothing wrong with that. My goodness, just go, ask, see what they say. You've got nothing to lose whatsoever. So if you don't get to the line, you say. You stay there. No. You do not stay there. You keep running, but you might not make it to the line when the beep hits. So then the beep goes beep, then you make it to the line, and they'd be like, 1 warning, but you just turn around and just boot it to the next beep to make sure you get there. It'll take a lot out of you, but it's that extra levels rather than you thinking, I didn't get to the beep, stacking it. And then you might lose like 2 or 3 levels, which can just stand you out in the crowd, sort of thing. So just take your warnings until they tell you to quit. Any Muslims in the paras, Rahib Bashir? Probably, to be perfectly honest with you. One of my mates in the Incorp, he's a Muslim. I've got loads of friends that are Muslims that I've worked with, and their rations. They get specialist rations, etc. They can practice Ramadan, etc. It's fine, and I'm sure there are Muslims in the paras. I'm certainly sure there are. Justin, put show me face. Okay, join now. Okay, DJ's got it. Right, look at that. 50 minutes nearly. Does anyone have any more questions? Otherwise, if not, I think that's been a nice successful chat with everyone. But lots of people dropping in that. It's been great. So let's say I brought up a discussion about the new Ajax. Would it be focused on whether it's a suitable replacement or something else? Well, that's for you to look into, DJ. It will be. It is a good replacement because it's all to do with being versatile and having agility across the battlefield. So what you could talk about is something to do with look at the new integrated review and how they're stepping up new regiments, and the Ajax vehicle is now going to be brought into service with regards to being agile across the battlefield, because that's where the battlefield is going to be now. We're not going to, probably won't be any of those static sort of wars that we've had in the past. It might just be a really quick moving battle because a lot of it will be in the cyber domain anyway. But yeah, it will be whether it's a suitable replacement, and whether it's fit for purpose, etc. Rasib Bashir, can you message me on Instagram? Of course you can, buddy. Would the Ryanair talk consist of whether it's ethical or whether there should be harsher sanctions? Yeah, was it ethical? What did the guy do? Was it right to stop the plane? What's happening to him? Was his interview made under duress? All sorts of things. Or what you can do is wait until you go, read the newspaper, get something stuck in your head before you go, which could be a really great topic. It's fresh. Most people would have probably seen it as well, and take that in. That'd be pretty good. Or what you can do is look something up online. Just go on the Army website, have a look what's happening, have a look what's new. You could even look at on YouTube is the Army do like a 60-second news. That's quite good. Look on that and get some ideas off that as well. It's Ajax replacing. It's not so much like replacing Warrior. It's going to be a new set of vehicles that are reacting to a new set of ways that the Army are probably going to be practicing warfare in years to come. Alpha, so can you please share the marks you need for Royal Engineers in the mass test? No idea, mate. Absolutely no idea. It'll just be a case of basic addition, subtracting, times in, but it might be in problem format. So it might be worded in a problem rather than what is 5 times 5, 5 times 8, so on and so forth. It might actually be problems that are written like in a paragraph. Jasmine Evington, protein powder. Yeah, I take protein powder, but I do vegan protein powder because I don't do well with whey protein. So I do vegan protein powder. But if I was going to do whey, I would do whey isolate. So make sure you get whey isolate, which is just pure whey protein. So get whey isolate, and they are absolutely fine protein powders. They're good. Seb's got a Polish passport, was born in the UK, have a national insurance number, and a British citizen. Will you be able to join the Army? You will be able to join the Army, yeah. But go into your Armed Forces Careers Office just to make sure as well. My protein food's more important than powder. Yeah, food is more important than powder in some respects, but it might not give you all the protein that you need in a quick one. So I eat loads of chicken breasts, rice for carbs because I'm training quite a lot, but I always have a protein shake as well because it will give you that extra little bit of protein. It's perfect for muscle repair. Don't have protein powder. I've just been trying to learn about it. Yeah, look, you only use it if you need it. That's it. I do it because it's good for muscle repair. I eat a lot of chicken and carbs. I get the protein in anyway, and I just want to do it because it's good. It's good for muscular growth. But if you don't need protein, don't take protein. You reckon space is a good topic? Yeah, you could do have a look at multi-domain integration. So there's a 5th domain now. So we've only ever fought on land, maritime, air, and space. There's a new domain which is cyber, or cyberspace as they're calling it. So you could talk about that as well. Krill oil, yeah, that's really good, isn't it? From the fish, yeah. National insurance number as well, but not a British citizen. Although I've been here 8 years, yeah. Jaden, get in there, mate. Citizen applications are expensive. Aren't they like 1,500 quid or something? They are expensive, mate. Tijuana homelessness and knife crimes, yeah. That one's not going away anytime soon. You could do veterans that are homeless from wars gone by as well. You could do something like that. So there are lots of topics out there. I'd probably do one military and one current affairs as well. Kinetic, hypersonic weapons. Yeah, you could do something like that. Laser weapons. The Army's just started using a new laser weapon now on the Type 45 frigate. You could have a look at that. For instance, you can just Google that. Firefly, fire dome, something like that. You can just Google that, and you can find videos of it on YouTube. That's some form of directed energy weapons, laser weapons, high energy weapons. That would be some good topics to look at as well. Anything else? Anyone for any more? If not, we will. That's another 10 minutes. I can't believe how fast this goes, man. You guys are amazing. By the way, they didn't say to be 2 topics, but they may ask you for a topic. Yes, they might well do. And it is a very good idea because you might have to write an essay on something as well. Do I think tanks are here to stay? More than likely, we'd have to have tanks. We're getting the Challenger 3s, more of a deterrent than anything like our nuclear deterrent as well. Challenger 3, yeah. What is it like being in the Royal Signals? That's Rachel. I like it. I like it in the Royal Signals. I haven't got anything bad to say about it. I'm gonna make a video actually tomorrow about would I recommend people joining the Army now after seeing the changes that I've seen within the military, and would I still join the Army now? Just looking at some pros and cons and just the differences from when I joined up to people joining up now. And I think it's going to be a really interesting video, and I would definitely tell people to join the Army now. Yes, I'll do a video about that. But life in the Royal Signals is pretty good. You do phase 2 at Blandford, learn your trade, and then go off. Look, but you might come in, you might join the Royal Signals, and you'll be like, actually, it's not for me. But then you can change your cap badge. But I found it really interesting. I have, so I can't say anything bad about it. Can drones blow them? Give us a story. No, I'll give you a story. Yeah, I will, I promise. Aaron Mouth, I'm a British national, grew up in the UK, spent a few years living and going to school abroad, but returned every 6 months. Would this affect my ability to join as an INT officer? British national, grew up in the UK, spent a few years living and going to school abroad, but it will depend on where you went to school abroad, and it will depend on whether they can account for you when you've been out of the country for every 6 months as well. So it could, but it would depend on the country you probably went to school in. Can too much trust be placed in unmanned aerial vehicles drone, given that they can possibly be hacked? Can too much trust can be put in people, because people are easily bribed, which is just like hacking a radio frequency that might be controlling an unmanned aerial sensor. So everything's hackable, and everybody, well, not everybody's bribable, but hacking a UAS, an unmanned aerial sensor, bribing a person, they can potentially go hand in hand. There's risks versus rewards all the time. Advanced fighter jets can blow them up, but of course, unmanned aerial sensors are also armed with kinetic missiles as well. Yeah, the Russians are trying everything. No hacking when the Royals, especially if I'm doing the electronic defensive side. There's no hacking. That's a joke. And yeah, it will be easier if everyone's microchipped. And DJ, yeah, you've got lots and lots of topics now. So who wants a story? Okay, I've got a story about when I you can talk about China. Yeah, you can talk about China, why not? About when I after this have a look what an AFV 432 is, Armored Fighting Vehicle 432. And what I did, we'd been on exercise for about three weeks, and because they're really slow, they only go to about 30 miles an hour. You have to drive them onto a low loader to then get them transported anywhere. So you're meant to put it in the lowest gear possible, which is a 1-2, I had it in 5.6 because I was really tired. And the problem then is if it struggles to get traction when you're trying to go up little ramps onto this big, huge lorry that you have to drive them onto. So I had in 5.6, I was driving up there and fell off. It slipped off the low loaders. So I'm hanging off the side driving. So you use these two pillars to go left and right like that. So I'm just hanging off the side. I'm like pretty, not so much scared. I'm like, oh my God, because if it flipped over, it'd probably like kill me or something. So all my friends are in the bus laughing their heads off. I can hear them laughing like mad in the bus. And I was meant to drive the one on, get out, go and get the other one, drive that one on behind it. But obviously I was stuck in it. So my one friend gets off. He's like, oh, right then, Mount, looks like I'll drive the other one on. He drives it on, does exactly the same thing, but he tips it completely. Mine was hanging off a ledge sort of thing onto the ground, but he completely tips it onto the side. So essentially we had two armored fighting vehicles just completely out of commission in Brecon. It was, which all of you will train on Brecon at some point if you join the military. And so you do get tired. You get tired on exercise, and absolutely everyone makes mistakes. That is true. And if you see someone making a mistake, have a really good laugh, but it could be you making the next one. That's for sure. Planning days out. Oh, Franco, further over my recent video, planning days out. What sort of thing is that? Like a day out paintballing, night out exercise training. Right. So when you get there, you will, as the new one, first of all, you might have to just plan a meal, or you could be planning paintballing, just planning sort of a section night out. It might be bowling, anything like that. Just planning kind of like mini events. It could be the Christmas party, the summer party, just planning little things like that. And then as you generally get further up the ranks, things get far, far bigger that you'll be planning, like perhaps a walk across an Inca trail or absolutely anything really. You could be going to an Africa adventure training, skiing in the Alps, anything like that. But you plan these things, and it goes on your report, and it helps then to get promoted from there. Franco, what sort of things have I planned? Oh, loads, man. I've planned all Christmas parties, summer parties, adventure training, exercises. You will end up planning absolutely everything at one point or another in your time. Planned in Germany, we were doing this big, huge cross-country run, planned that as well. You can do everything. It's not that hard because loads of people will help you anyway. Loads of people will help you. Oggy, bit late. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. What any, if any, reason not to shrink the army? Everything needs to be streamlined. I think what they're looking at is, for instance, say we were going to fight against Russia, we would have to be on Russian territory to fight them because they don't have the money to move all of their forces around and start some sort of invasion, whereby we're not going to go to Russia more than likely to actually start a war. So they're just streamlining the army for the future, and whereby it might just be a case of we might be fighting wars, which might be skirmishes here and there, or it might actually be in the cyberspace domain. So that's why. Are we legitimately an actual army, or are we more really of a defense force under the guise of an army at this moment in time? Rifles, first choice, para second, nice one. Haven't met any airborne engineers yet. Loads. That's a plan in the coming years. Yeah, there's loads of airborne engineers. We work with them. The Signals work with airborne engineers within EOD, electronic ordnance disposal, explosive ordnance disposal. So yeah, met loads, nice blokes. Noel, thanks for the story. I guess you had a laugh when you saw him in the scene. Yeah, once I eventually got out, of my driver's seat, and a really good laugh. Okay, please ask how long phase 2 training is for a cyber engineer. British Airways website didn't specifically say. Phase 2 training is going to be long. You're going to do, for the cyber engineer, you are going to do foundation 1, which is like 2 weeks. Then you're going to do foundation 2, which could be anywhere up to around 16 weeks. So you could be in phase 2 training for quite a while, but don't worry about it. You'll get some good jobs afterwards. But yeah, you could be here 6 months, 6 months easily for a cyber engineer. What would the reasons be for increasing the size of the army again in the future? World War, more than likely. If the face of conflict changes, that would certainly be a reason to expand the size of the army. So essentially it'd be the face of conflict. If that changes, if it becomes a far more kinetic fight where people are moving globally, then you'd increase the size of your army. But essentially via cyberspace, cyber domain, it can be done from anywhere. Matthew's got Harrogate in 3 months. Don't you worry about that, mate. You'll be fine. You'll get through it. The fact is, you're going to be there. You're on here. You're listening to tips. Everyone's going to be in the same boat as you. And the fact that you are quite nervous means you really want it. And chances are you'll do well because of that. MMA or kickboxing in the army? Yeah, there is. Jiu-jitsu is quite a big thing at this moment in time. But there's, loads of MMA. Kickboxing, I would imagine there is as well. But there's loads of martial arts in the military, absolutely loads, getting done all of the time. Is there any reason why they shouldn't shrink the army? I don't think there is, because we have systems now where we used to have a larger army because it took more men to do more things, but now technology is advancing. You don't need as many men to run a server anymore. You just don't need that. Servers pretty much run themselves. A lot of things are cloud-based as well, so you won't need any men laying so many communication cables, so on and so forth. So look, it's just one of those things, isn't it? They clearly, it's not me making the decisions, it's clearly government making the decisions, policy makers. They've had to look, they think, look, I'd like a much larger army because it means that you'd be able to have more time off. Essentially, it just means you'll just be a lot busier with a smaller army. Does a reduction of the army affect Commonwealth recruitment? I honestly don't know about that, but I would imagine it will take a long time for that to come across, I would imagine, because they're just waiting for people to retire at this moment in time, and then slow down recruiting. So that will be a case of we'd have to see in the future. What do you know of weapons in space? So that is classified, unfortunately. There's Augie, Cold War Warrior, thinks it changed a lot. I bet it has, Augie. My goodness, I bet it has. I don't reckon that can be discussed. No, it cannot, unfortunately, Raj. But you'll be able to Google some of the basic things, though. That's for sure. That is for sure. That's another 10 minutes gone. That's 1 hour and 8 minutes now. That's unbelievable. But I think we all. Has anyone else got any questions? Has anybody just joined, perhaps, that I've got a quick question? Don't mind doing one more. I'm just having a look now, in case anyone's put anything on here on my actual channel. No. So other than that, everyone, thank you so much. Deej, you have had a lot of questions, but I love it, mate. I wouldn't do these if people didn't have any questions. It'd be a nightmare. I'd just be sat here talking to myself. No problem. Thank you to absolutely everyone that has been on today, whether you came in earlier, so on and so forth. But other than that, cheers, and need to catch up in real time. We really do, Augie. That is for sure, mate. That is for sure. But yeah, everyone, thanks so much for dropping by, and those that I told to leave comments on my videos requesting questions that I didn't quite know the answer to, make sure you drop them in or join the Discord server that I have, and I'll get back to you. Other than that, take care, everyone. Bye.